They saw a human running in 5x gravity and filed a complaint. The complaint arrived at 0347 hours on a Tuesday, filed by the Zol Theta delegation to the Interspecies Labor Council. 7 pages, 43 individual grievances, all stemming from a single occurrence, a human running. Commander Sarah Voss read it twice, certain she'd misunderstood. They filed a formal protest because someone jogged, she said flatly. Her adjutant, Kenji Nakamura, couldn't contain his laugh. Read the details. They're not filing for violation. They're filing for inhumane treatment. Voss scrolled through the complaint's structured arguments. The Zol Theta, an insectoid species with fragmented exoskeletons, were precise and logical, every point methodical. Point 1. The human in question was observed moving at sustained velocity across the research station's observation deck. Point 2. The human species is known to have maximum adaptability to 3 times baseline gravity. Point 3. The station's gravity system was confirmed at 5 times human baseline. Point 4. No human should be capable of locomotion under such conditions. Point 43 was simply, this is a sign of abuse. Who was running? Voss asked. Dr. Elena Reeves, xenobiology. Voss had never met Reeves in person, but her file was extensive. Decorated researcher, published papers on extremophile adaptation. According to the CV, she'd survived an escape pod crash on Kepler 223, a world with 4.8x Earth gravity. She walked 6 kilometers through crushing pressure to reach the rescue beacon. That was before she joined the station. Voss summoned her. Elena Reeves arrived within the hour. She was compact, muscular in a way that suggested decades of compensation. Her bearing suggested someone who'd made peace with pain. She read the complaint without expression. I was exercising. Reeves said simply. The observation deck was empty. I needed the space and the stimulus. The Zol Theta believe you're being subjected to cruel conditions. The Zol Theta evolved on a planet with 2/3 Earth gravity. Their baseline is lower. Reeves' eyes fixed on Voss with an intensity that suggested she'd had variations of this conversation before. Running in 5G isn't cruel. It's challenging. There's a difference. Voss understood that distinction. She'd read enough of Reeves' research to know the woman had transformed her own suffering into academic advancement. Every scar was a data point. Every limitation overcome was a hypothesis confirmed. Walk me through what happened. Reeves explained it. 47 minutes on the observation deck, running the perimeter, gradually increasing velocity from a jog to something approaching sprint. Her suit's gravity compensators were off. She'd specifically disabled them to feel the actual load. Her heart rate had spiked to 180 beats per minute. She'd pushed hard enough to cause muscle micro-tears. That was the point. You were testing your own limits. Voss said, I was proving a hypothesis. The human body can adapt to elevated gravity if subjected to graduated stimulus and genetic predisposition. I'm pre-adapted. Kepler 223 ensured that. Reeves leaned forward. And I'm volunteering for the Deep Gravity Research Program. I need baseline data from 5G sustained activity. The Zol Theta just witnessed my control group of 1. Voss studied her. You understand how this looks to a species whose maximum tolerance is 4G? Yes, to them. I was doing something impossible while appearing to suffer. They filed a complaint because watching me run violated their ethical framework. Reeves smiled without humor. They don't understand that some of us are built differently. Some of us have been broken and rebuilt harder. The Interspecies Labor Council required a formal response. Voss drafted it carefully. Dr. Reeves was conducting voluntary self-directed research within established safety parameters. No gravity compensator interference had occurred. Medical records confirmed no injury beyond expected training response. The Zol Theta's concern reflected genuine cross-species ethics. Their complaint was respectfully noted and filed. The Zol Theta replied with a second complaint, arguing that voluntary acceptance of cruel conditions was itself a form of abuse, a sign of psychological damage that should trigger intervention protocols. Reeves received the message with something resembling satisfaction. She filed a counterproposal. The Deep Gravity Research Program would proceed. but she would include the Zol Theta delegation in her weekly progress reports. They would witness the data. They would see the science. Perhaps they would understand. 3 months later, Reeves had adapted to sustain 6G loading. The Zol Theta had stopped complaining. Instead, they sent a research inquiry asking if similar adaptation protocols might be applied to increase their own gravity tolerance. They wanted to run, too. Voss read the query and realized a real achievement. Elena Reeves hadn't just broken her own limits. She'd shown others that limits were meant to be questioned, that running in impossible gravity wasn't abuse. It was becoming.